So when I was in high school, senior, I was given the honor of being in oh shoot, what class was that? Mr. Dan Wilson taught it, but it's what led to the Tit Wa Tit publication. And so one of the things I got to do is find some elder in the community to do my contribution to the publication. So the person I got to participate in this class with was an old timer by the name of Whiskey Paul. And so Whiskey Paul, he taught me a couple things actually. He taught me how to construct a sweat house, a sweat lodge. I spent a lot of that time with him, well, all the time actually. The numerous trips I made up to his house. He taught me different things. Unfortunately, I think a lot of that didn't stick. It was at the time I didn't realize the treasure I had in front of me. That elder resource of just knowing where some of this old time knowledge comes from. So it's being blessed with being able to interface with that. If we was a scientist in today's world, you'd call it traditional ecological knowledge. Traditional knowing. Well, it's just that wisdom that's passed on from generation to generation, and we all know that that's a precious resource these days, and getting even more so as we lose our elders. And a constant theme when we go into our sweat lodge now is you just never know. You never know in this life today how fast things can change. Someone can be here with you, your treasured loved one, and gone the next. So we just appreciate the time we do have. And I think about that with Whiskey Paul. I'm doing my best I can to teach my children what I know, so that they can benefit from the sacred knowledge and hopefully pass it on to their children someday, and so on. When I look at this cottonwood tree, you see a couple things. You see many things here, but in its raw form, we see drums. We see good drum frames here. Take a lot of work to hollow one of these out, but you can see the makings of a real good drum on some of these. But then right here, how soft and silky smooth this is. He also taught me about tanning hides, and so I helped him do a hide while we were there. And he lived on a creek, if you guys remember his old place up there on Tom Bell. And he had one of these trees right here that was fallen like across the creek just upstream from his sweat house. And so he showed me how it was bare like this down the whole stretch of it. And that smoothness there, it allowed him to drape the hide over the smooth cottonwood tree, and then skin it or flesh it out like that. And he said that's and it was also done down here along the creek bottom, because that's where he used the water also to soften things up, to allow the crawdads and other things to help do a lot of that work for you. If you submerge your hide, soften it up, if whatever the use is going to be. There's Lapway Creek's over there, and I point there because when I was in high school, just on the other side of these trees right here, there used to be a yellow bridge that's now replaced, but under that yellow bridge is where I used to put my deer hides. Anyway, I tried to do that after I was taught by Whiskey Paul. I guess I would have been in my early 20s then, trying to do this, and honestly said I don't think I've ever successfully completed that project in the way that it was taught to me. And, maybe it's time to start doing these things in a more serious way and more intentional way, to not just pass on the verbal teachings, but the knowing and the doing too. And it was really good to see Norm out here. Norm Johnson, he's really big on this right now, and he tells us when we're in the lodge, he's those things that are in a person's heart. It's one of the things that he tells us. He's really sad about the passing of all his siblings and his elders and all the things they were taught, and about the land and everything, about his land, his homeland, about how the people are and the things they know and they want to pass on. And so he tells me that even in our private conversations, that it's important to stop and listen to the elders. When they have a story to tell, you may think it's just a story, but it's full of knowledge and it's full of knowing, and it's these elders. You got to take that time. When they want to tell you a story, you take your time. You allow them to be heard. You give them that moment to pass on that knowledge to you, and you don't know the gems that are hidden in those words until those time comes for that knowledge to be known. And so you treat every conversation with your elders as an opportunity to do these sacred things. Just like every step you take on this earth is one of sacredness and intentional. You know what you're doing as you go about your daily life. You rise in the morning and you give thanks for that new day, and you give prayers in that new way, knowing that you are pure and reborn with that sunrise, that every day is a new chance to do something new. We remember these things, and so that's why we always say that when we rise, we smudge and we pray and we give thanks. We give thanks because that's what we are. We're thankful for this life. This greatest gift that we have here today is this ability to do these things in behalf of the people, the Mother Earth, those future generations, to honor the sacrifice of those generations that have come before us, knowing we are the prayers of our ancestors. We are still here. We're still trying to practice these traditional ways, and we'll keep doing so. We'll keep doing so as long as we can. Ki he was Nemi Pumataspa. This is Nez Perce land, and it'll always be, as long as the world is how it is, and even unto the ending of time. Creator put us here to do these things, and he gave us this sacred way, knowing that we would be the voice of our Mother Earth, his creation, honoring him through our Mother Earth and our sacred responsibilities, the Tamawit that we all know. This is a big thing for many of us, and so we go about this in any way that we can. We take our niche, we find our niche in our special way, that little thing that only we can give this world in our hearts. We're just little human beings here for a short time, but yet we still have that opportunity to do great things. The story about this tree right here, I just told my kids not long ago before I came over here about one of my uncles not talking in a good way about this place here, ridiculing the ceremonies that were going on at that moment. And while he stood here, right there in front of that tree, lightning struck. Lightning struck that tree. My uncle left in a hurry. It took him a lot of years to come back to this place. So we know the power and the medicine that these sacred places have. We know our oral histories that say there always has to be a community sweat house here in this way, and that we always have to keep it in that sacred way. And that we always have to bring our young ones here to teach them this sacred way. And there are those that keep these teachings, and we just wait. You know, it's not even me, it's elders. I watch them waiting. I hear them lament like my elder Norm Johnson. You know, I hear others say the same things. They lament. They feel like they're waiting on the fringe, they're waiting on the edge, waiting for today's generation to come and to seek their knowledge. Just like I've heard my own Tota, my dad Vic, I heard him say the same things, Big Vic. You know, I talk about building things and doing things like that, and he's quick to say, oh, I want to help, let me help, you know. Use this lifetime of carpentry knowledge and knowing to your advantage. It's here, it's right now. But everybody has this way, you know. We have this medicine, and the lightning tree, as it was often referenced, lets us know that medicine is strong. This traditional way, this red road is strong. That we're good to keep this place cued. He keeps that place in a sacred way, and we come here in a sacred way to do these things. We honor that. So I just wanted to say these few words here to let others know that this is something that we carry. We're not all words, we're not all fluff. That we lead simple lives and we try to do simple things because we have to honor things. We have to do things, and those who know are there and they're waiting. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for your children. They're waiting for your young ones to come forward and ask to be taught, ask to be shown. Give them that honor and that respect to use the cottonwoods here in this sacred way, the old way. Wish to tama, to come to that wish to tama in the old way, the good way. The men here, they come and they share in songs and they share in prayers and they share in laughs and they share in heartache. We share in the hardships of our community, just as we call this the community, the Spring Creek Society. We hurt for our community, we cheer for our community, where we do what we come, and we do, and even though we are not known, we still do these things for everybody. And we know that in other places, in other lodges, in other ceremonies, in other places of prayer, these same things are being done. And we respect them all, and all of those songs are even sung here. We sing the songs from the different faiths and different beliefs. This is the community place, so we do come here and we listen to the hearts of all, and all are offered that opportunity to do so. And we know that so many other places offer the same thing. You know, just keep that open heart, because maybe sometime you or someone in your family will want to know just that little bit more, or feel like there's something that's pushing them, steps that want to be taken that they've been not knowing how to take. That path is there. The door is open. Katsia Yochla.